sound, every voice has a story.
Hands up, fool!
Turn it up. Stay connected.
Where it began, I can't begin to knowing, but then I know it's growing strong. Wasn't the spring, and spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe there never was, but now I look at the night and it don't seem so lonely. We fill it up with only two. And when I hurt, hurting runs off my shoulders. How can I hurt when holding you? Warm, touching warm, reaching out, touching me, touching you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to KWEXL Radio, and I'm your host from the left coast, the west coast, the best coast. Yes, that is Neon Black Chevelle. Today's conversation, and this is Takeover Tuesday. And if you're not familiar with Takeover Tuesday, this is where we take over your Tuesday, and I allow someone to take over my Tuesday. So with that being said, tonight's conversation, it's one a lot of people avoid, but everybody feels. I'm talking about love, people. I'm talking about commitment and whether relationships today are built to last or built to fail. Because in a world full of options, people are starting to ask a real question. Are relationships for suckers, or are we just choosing wrong? And today we're not just speaking from theory. We're speaking from experience. From a time before swipe culture, before dating apps, before people had unlimited options at their Taki-covered fingertips, a time where connection was built, not scrolled past. So, again, this is Takeover Tuesday, and I'm going to go ahead and call in today's special guest. Today's special guest, oh, well, she has a lot of experience. She has 55 plus years of marriage under her belt, happily married. So let's go ahead and get her on the line right now.
Hello.
Hello, hello. How are you?
I'm doing better, thank you.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it. And the voice you're hearing right now, this is Miss, and you have to tell me how to pronounce it. Is it Gayer or Geyer?
It's Gayer.
Gayer. This is Mrs. Belle Gayer. And she's been writing for 7 years, and she's touched over 34 million souls on Quora. So she's no amateur. Again, with her 55 plus years of experience in marriage. So let's just kick it right off, Belle. So, do you have anything going on right now that you wanted to promote or tell the people? Any current projects?
Well, my book is yes, thank you. My book is out. I based the book on a lot of what I've shared in Quora, but I based it mostly on my years of experience with my beloved, and I think everyone should always think of their partner as their beloved, especially if you're in an argument, especially when you're not happy with them, because you have to always keep in mind that that too shall pass.
Right.
So, but I have my book, Our Relationships for Suckers, is available now on Amazon, and looking forward to going to BookCon 2026 in Manhattan on Sunday,
Oh.
and looking forward to sharing my knowledge with so many more people.
And we need it. My this current modern dating, uh, th- they
Oh,
definitely need it.
yes, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, and I have that link in the description as well, people. So you can go ahead and click on that Amazon link, and it'll take you right to her book, Our Relationships for Suckers. How did you well, before we even get started with the book, let's take it all the way back. I want to ask you,
Sure.
um, what was it like when your husband first approached you? What was that
Uh, Oh, it's actually a fabulous story. My husband and I met at a singles bar in 1972 in Manhattan, and we we neither one of us was supposed. It was a teenage. It was a college age at the time. The drinking age in New York was 18, so it was very much a college age place. It wasn't like a regular meat market or a plain old bar. It was much
Okay.
more relaxed.
Yeah.
If you look at it from that point of view, it's a little different. But yeah, he wasn't supposed to be there. He had a sore throat, and he was a cold, but his friends dragged him there because he had the access to his father's car, and they
He
needed
was the
that.
ride,
So
yeah.
he was there. Yeah, yeah. He wasn't supposed to be there, and I wasn't supposed to be there. I had a date that night for somebody actually I had met the week before, which was a complete disaster. So I had the choice of driving home, which was that's from Manhattan to Rockaway, which is like a 2-hour drive, or going in and having a drink and relaxing, and then going home on a Friday night. So I decided, oh, I'm going to go have a drink and relax, and I'll go home later. And his friend walked up. He was standing in a corner. It was a very crowded bar, and he was standing in a corner. And his best friend, came up to him and said, um, "Pick a girl, any girl, and I'll pick her up for you." Now, this guy was a very attractive guy,
Okay.
and he actually used to be a studio musician, in the city, played with Jimi Hendrix and people like that.
Oh wow.
But he didn't interest me. He wasn't my type. When someone walks up to you and says hi, you like, is there something there at all? You get a feeling or not? He was cute, but he wasn't my type.
So
So I
so
kept
it's
walking
true.
away
So it's
from him.
true. Women can determine whether or not they're um some type
Absolutely.
of vibe like
If
within
if you have any
seconds.
interest at all, just like, is there a vibe? Right. Is there an immediate vibe? Right. Absolutely. I kept walking away from it. The third time he walked over to me, I said, "Oh no!" All right. So I was talking to him, and then my almost husband, my husband to be,
Uh-huh.
walked up to me, and walked up to both of us, and it was like, "Ooh, that's yeah, that's interesting." So, and according to him, he said he surveyed the room, pointed me out, and he was in love with me at first sight. That was how he describes it. And we got married 4 months later. So I guess he
Wow.
was, and
4 months.
I was a little more skeptical, but
Was
yeah.
was there a date? Was there a first date like that? I guess that was the first date, but was there an initial
Well,
date?
yeah, it was because we spent some time talking, and then we went to a different place and sat and talked and kissed a little. And then there was a
Oh,
date.
Belle.
Yeah, yeah, and that was interesting. That was another story. That was another story. Yeah, yeah. It
Okay.
was pretty interesting.
Man, that
Yeah.
is pretty interesting. She said that his friend struck out horribly. So
Yes.
and you said you were married in 4 months. What was that like? Like leading up to the
Yeah.
marriage? What was? Like, were there other
Well,
dates?
we only waited that. No. Well, yeah, we dated. Sure, we dated too. We had great sex, and we got to know each other. And we would have married sooner, actually, but he had to wait till he was 21 because he didn't have parental consent. And in New
Hmm.
York, it was 18 and 21 for men, and they've since changed it where it's 18 for both. But at the
Okay.
time, that's what it was. So, yeah, it was. We dated like regular dating, but we just had this really instant connection, and we just it was just very special because I had dated before, of course, and
Hmm.
I wasn't new at the game, and I had actually the last guy I dated before him was 34, so we were both only 20, and I turned 21 in March, and he turned 21 in June, and we got married the day after his 21st birthday.
Wow. Y'all didn't waste any time. Did So you
Uh-uh.
said he didn't have parental consent. Was his parents just like, you know what,
Oh
like you're
yeah,
too young, or were they not feeling you? Were they
yeah,
not
of
sure
course,
about
all of
you?
that.
Or oh, okay, got you.
Oh,
So
it
they were
didn't matter.
just.
It
Hmm.
didn't matter. It didn't matter. It was
Got you.
just, yeah. I put him through 8 years of school. Well, he also worked part of the time, but mostly I put him through 8 years of school. 2 years left of college that he had, 2 years of graduate school, and 4 years of law school. So that's what their concern was.
Right.
But my parents had told them, "Oh, don't worry, she's going to get a good job, and we'll help if we need to." But they still were very much against it, and so that was that. No, it took 6 months. We didn't speak to them for 6 months, and then I just said, "You know what?" I said, "Just call them, and this is stupid."
Right.
And then they acted like nothing had ever happened. So that was that.
Okay. Well, that's good. So that is something. And that you said that was in
72.
1972. Man, times were definitely different.
Mhm.
Was there times were definitely different because nowadays, so what did you guys do? Like, as far as like outings and when you guys were still in the dating phase in that 4 months, what type of things or activities did you get into as far as like, did you guys go to the movies? Did you guys go to like how the movies depicted going to like fairgrounds and all of that stuff, going to drive-in theaters?
No, no, we did a lot of restaurants and sex. That's what we did a lot of.
A lot of restaurants and sex, straight up. I heard that.
Yeah, but not sex in the restaurants.
We had some class.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
And
no.
frankly, I don't even remember what we did, what else we did. That's all I
Right.
remember.
I
It's
got
been a
you.
long time.
Well, no. Well, the reason why I was asking that is because nowadays, in modern dating, they say, well, the man has to take a lot of people, not all, but a lot of women
Mm,
are saying that, and guys, they're saying that you have to take
mm.
her on a date and at least spend $200 to $300. Again, this is not everybody, but you got to
Oh
spend,
no,
yeah,
no, no, no.
exactly, and all of that stuff. They
No,
even
no.
say,
No, you know what?
yeah, go for it.
All these people have such unrealistic expectations. Just
Hmm.
it's very sad. They just don't have they first of all they don't understand what love is all about. They don't understand romantic love or the rest of love. They don't understand they just are clueless. They really are. They really
Hmm.
are clueless. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sorry to have to say that, but it's a fact.
I mean, yeah, no, straight up. No, it definitely is a fact. And it is pretty sad because they use the word
Yeah.
love and not knowing that love is an
Mhm.
action word. It is a verb. It is something that you
Yes.
do. You don't just talk
Yes.
about it. You actually show the person that you
Yes.
love them. Would you say there's a difference between loving someone and being in love with someone?
Oh, absolutely. Because there are nine kinds of love.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
you
let's
have
expand on
your
that.
parents love you, you love them. There's the love of friends. Even the love of strangers.
Hmm.
There are
Love thy
it's the
neighbor, yeah.
ancient Greek definition. Yeah, the ancient Greek and playful love and platonic love. There's so many different kinds of love,
Hmm.
and they don't understand. But romantic love is only two of those. Except sometimes obsession, it's called mania from the Greek, but it's
Okay.
obsession. That's the only negative form of love. But otherwise, there are only two forms of romantic love. There's the honeymoon stage, and then there's enduring love.
Hmm.
And too many people don't understand either one of those because they'll say, "Oh, the spark is gone. I guess I'm not really in love with them." No, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
It works this way. honeymoon stage is that initial electricity, that spark, that attraction. Your happy hormones are
Right.
going bananas, and your sex hormones as well. And that's the normal way people are attracted to each other. And
Hmm.
that's what happens. That always dies, according to research, not my personal opinion, 6 months to 2 years in. I mean, they're a little off. It could be a little much either way, but that's what they research claims, okay? And it always dies. It has to. It would kill you to have to maintain that level of excitement for a lifetime. It can't be done.
Right.
But what happens is, in the meantime, enduring love has begun to form. The depth of relationship, the depth of feeling that you care about each other, the way you treat each other, that has begun to form in the meantime while you're still in the honeymoon stage. And enduring love can last a lifetime. But people confuse that with true love, perfect love. Those are bullcrap. They're fantasy. They don't exist. Enduring love does, though, and it can last a lifetime. But you have to work at it. I get questions all the time on Quora. Oh, I get questions. Oh, am I really in love? Or how can I be? I can't find true love, and it's like it's so sad because they don't have a clue about what love really means and what it is and how it works.
Yeah.
Which is why I write on Quora and why I've written the book, because I straighten them out on that point. I
Yeah.
explain that to them. And also they say, is love enough? That's the best one. Is love enough?
Right. Right. Right.
No, no, no. Love is never enough. It's work. It's hard work,
I was
effort,
just about to
time,
say that. Yes.
energy.
Hmm.
So love should be enough. I love them. But they say, yeah, and then you ignore them. And then you go about your other stuff is more important than they are. If you choose someone, the Bible says in Genesis, when you leave your father and mother, you should cleave as one flesh to your wife.
Hmm.
And they don't mean that doesn't mean you give up your individuality. It doesn't mean you give, because I never have, and I don't think anybody should. And I think truly you are who you are, and that's wonderful, and you accept that with each other. But you spiritually connect with that person deeply. And people, I don't know, they're afraid to do it. They don't know how to do it. And they certainly don't know how to communicate and compromise and apologize when they're wrong sometimes.
Oh man, take accountability for their actions. Yes, or the lack thereof. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know
That's
what's
right.
going on with. Again, I'm 36, so yeah, I'll say it. My generation, when it comes to accountability, um,
Mm.
there's a big lacking in that area. Yeah, I mean, if you did something, accountability is not just apologizing, people. It's not just,
No, of course not. Of course.
hey,
Yeah.
I was wrong. No, it's not, I'm sorry for what I said or my lack of actions or, it's not just that, not admitting that.
Yeah.
It's actually
Yeah.
changing your behavior,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
changing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not that you want someone to change. You're growing together and
exactly.
changing and becoming a better person because of it. That's what you achieve when you do it right.
Absolutely. And speaking on both both parties changing, how did the both of you change over the decades and how did you grow together instead of
Oh,
apart?
oh yeah. Well, when we started out, I was very sensitive, overly sensitive, and we used to fight a lot. And it came, and even they'd be sometimes we'd be up till two. I would never let him. I always advise, don't go to sleep angry. You have to resolve things before you go to sleep. We would stay up sometimes till 2 in the morning, getting back to resolving things and great
Right.
makeup sex. But people don't understand. They just don't understand. So what we did, when I figured out when I figured out that maybe fighting, all this extra stress and emotion, were unnecessary. Maybe we could have a more peaceful way of doing this.
Hmm.
When I finally figured that out, that was the key, you know, to non-conflict communication. And it's something that compromise, even apologizing when you're wrong, because often the person will come back to you and say, you were right about that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it happens all the time. There's always going to be conflict. We're human. We have bad moods. We disagree. We've had a bad day. They say someone touches your buttons. You know,
Yeah,
it's normal to have a disagreement. But generally, to keep your communication on a caring, loving, gentle, peaceful basis is just so much healthier for you and your relationship.
absolutely. And I've heard that when it comes to marriage, you have to get over that. Like the first 7 years is the most challenging, but once you get over that 7 year, the first 7 years of marriage, it gets easier. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about that.
Right,
I don't know about that. I
right.
don't know that it gets. I don't think it gets. Honestly, I don't think it gets easier. I think it gets more comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and it gets. If you're doing it right. If you're doing it wrong, it doesn't matter. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you're not but if you're doing it right, it gets more comfortable. I don't think it gets easier. It's something is can be simple but not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Like love is simple, but it's not easy.
Absolutely. No, I agree for sure. I mean, year 7 might not look like year 10. Year 10 might not look like year 20, and year 20 definitely might not
Right.
look like year
Right.
50. So no, I
Right.
definitely
Right.
agree with you.
Right. Well, each in your life you'll have all kinds of outside pressures and stresses, and those affect your relationship as well. So you never really know how much of the outside is hurting you, or but if you can develop the kind of deep spiritual communication, the level of communication that two people can share, if you can develop that, then you can come back and you can suffer through all the agonies of outside stress and inside stress and come to a great place, which is why I didn't want to finish the book because I knew it was going to take me out of my very comfortable life.
Hmm. Okay. Shoot. Again, people, this is Takeover Tuesday, and this is Belle Gayer. And this is an absolute treat, and I really appreciate you being on this show. I appreciate you hanging out with me today. This is, I mean, you're dropping gems like straight from the jump, from the start. You
Mhm.
are just dropping gem after
Mm,
gems, and um,
thank you.
like I said, my generation, we definitely need to hear this and everything you have to say, because you're not just talking. You're not spewing out little quotes that you've heard on social media or that you came across on social
No,
platforms. Like this is
no,
all from the notches of your own belt of being married for 55
absolutely. Yes,
years,
yes, yes,
right? Like this isn't
yes,
just,
yes,
oh
yes.
no, well, he's my
Mm.
lifelong boyfriend, so we just say we're married because we've been married over this amount of years. No, like you made the conscious
No,
decision
no,
to say
no.
I do, and make it a legal
Mm.
bond, and it is literally holy matrimony underneath the eyes of the Lord. So with that being said,
Absolutely, absolutely.
that is a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's very different. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it is. It
yeah,
is
go for it.
definitely. I think that the biggest thing that I see today that I worry about is low self esteem. That's like huge, and fear of commitment. That
Hmm.
today's generation, you're 36, but today's generation, the
Yeah,
younger
yeah, yeah.
people,
The younger, yeah.
they're afraid. Yeah, they're afraid of commitment, and it's just and they don't have they don't feel worthy of love. They don't feel worthy of great love. So they don't even feel worthy of crappy love,
Well, what do you
you
think
know.
that has
And
to?
and
What do you think causes that to be that way? Do you think? I mean, I would say yes, social media, and they're comparing themselves to a lot of the you call it
yeah,
that
yeah, some
fairy
of
tale
that, yes,
love
certainly
depicted on
some of
social.
that.
But what else could it be?
Yes, 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 yes. I see a lot. I see it as a lot of what they're seeing. Yeah,
Hmm.
social media. eh, that's the true love, the true love, perfect love concept that people that poetry, novels, movies, television, social media pushes on people. It's a fantasy. It's not real. That's
Right.
not real.
Hmm.
That's not how it is. And also maybe they're looking at that as an ideal because they see their parents who don't get along.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
their parents haven't figured it out. So they're mentoring, who is the people with for whom they're base on whom they're basing their needs and relationships are doing a shitty job.
Yeah.
And so they're saying, well, okay, so I should look for that because that's perfect. That's the way it should be. Only it's not real. Yeah, it's a serious problem, and I think that's the biggest part of that problem. Yeah, I do, I do.
Yeah, no,
Just
absolutely.
it makes that's why 7 years ago I decided to write the book. I sat down and I went, well, how am I going to say it and what am I going to say? And someone serendipitously told me about Quora, and I said, "Oh, that's a good way. I'll write advice. I'll tell people, I'll get their questions, see what their problems are. After 6 months, the questions are all the same with rare exception.
Hmm.
But I'll tell you what you wanted to ask me at the beginning of the show, which is how did I get my title to my book, Our Relationships for
Hmm.
Suckers? I got it about 2.5 years in. I got a question from someone and who said to me, "Don't you think that relationships are a sucker's business?" And I was answering hundreds of questions, even thousands of questions. I've answered over 26,000 questions. But after 2 years, I'd answered about 10,000 questions. And this was the first question that really set me back. It took me away, got me it angered me, upset me.
Okay.
Because I said, oh my God, somebody really thinks that? Somebody really, really believes that?
Oh yeah.
That's how they look at love and relationships?
Oh yeah.
That it's but they're saying, oh yeah, look at this guy. He got taken for half his money and half his, I'm saying divorce, that
Hmm.
kind of thing. Yeah. So I went, wow. So that's where I got the title because why pick up a book that I wrote? Who the hell am I? I'm a 75-year-old Jewish
In the sea
bubby,
of
a
authors,
grandmother.
yeah.
Who
Uh-huh.
the hell am I to tell you anything about love and marriage? So why pick up my book? It's got to have a provocative title, right? So I said, that's perfect. I worked with it and I changed it a little, but that's how I got my title.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, and people do feel that way. There's a lot of people that, I mean, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, there's a lot of people that actually have tried marriage and their marriage failed. With
Yeah.
that said, I think that it
Yes.
has a lot to do with, like I said, accountability, right? Like, yeah, if
Yeah.
you gave it your absolute all, and I'm saying
Right.
whether
Right.
if you're in a marriage or whether if you are, just in the dating phase and you're only giving your time and energy to one person and
Hmm.
they have done you wrong in your eyes, um, and you've
Hmm.
done everything right in your eyes, so you decided to
Hmm.
not talk to them anymore, whatnot, or cut off ties. Now, if that
Hmm.
continues to happen, you get the people that say, "Well, where are
Right.
all the good guys? Where are all the good women at?" But I think that again,
Right.
accountability, a lot of that has to do with um, who you're choosing. Now, would you say that goes hand in
Yes.
hand? Is that 50
Yeah.
50 or because some people, like I said, accountability is just pretty inexistent nowadays. What are your
Poor,
thoughts
poor
on that?
choices are definitely a big no. Poor choices are definitely a big part of that. But the poor choices are happening for a reason. The reason poor choices are happening is because let's see, people don't feel worthy. Okay, and they're also, excuse me if I say it this way, but men are allowing their penises to lead them,
Hmm.
and they're not looking at red flags. They're not
Yeah,
looking at what's behind the golden door or the yellow behind the door of what's really that person is really all about, who they
right,
really are.
right.
They're not achieving the level of communication that is absolutely necessary for good healthy long-term relationships. But you need to fail first. You do if you get married out of the gate, you don't understand how to deal with failure, and you don't understand how when what you've done wrong or what you will do wrong, because you're going to make mistakes. Everyone makes. I even make mistakes
100%.
now. It's 54 years later. I do it sometimes. I make mistakes sometimes, but I realize it and I work on that and I come back with it, and apologize and you deal with the situation. But it's very much not understanding. It's very hard. Listen, men and women really think differently. Women are much more demanding. We have deeper needs. Men are simpler. Their needs are simpler. Really. I mean, I understand. I relate to it. It's wonderful. It's fabulous. But as people don't understand each other, and even if you're in a homosexual relationship, if it's a man and a man, a woman and a woman, you're still an individual. You're still brought up a certain way, and you have
Hmm.
certain feelings and thoughts. Ego gets in the way. I think the biggest problem with
Oh
love
yeah,
is that ego
man.
gets in
Talk
the
to him,
way.
Belle. Talk
Okay,
to him.
yeah, and people get defensive instead of, okay, I'm listening to you. What do you mean? They just react defensively and put in self protection, and they no, it's not me. Oh no, you're wrong. Consider the other person's opinion. people are not considerate enough of each other's ideas and thoughts, and
Mm-hmm.
not willing to compromise enough. And it's just a whole communication problem. That's the
Mm-hmm.
And communication is the cornerstone of every happy, successful, fulfilling long-term relationship.
100%.
And if you don't have that, if you don't share that, you're going to have problems. I think people are afraid to commit to the fullness of that. I think they want to protect their secrets, and they think that it will be giving up their individuality. It does not. You are still an independent individual when you share deep emotional conversation and closeness with somebody else. You are. Don't fear that. But be careful who you trust. That's the other part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Be careful who you trust and be careful who you, that's basically saying be careful who you allow access to you on those levels
Yes,
for sure. But would you
that's
also
correct.
say that, say there's, so say there's a couple and when you meet someone, there's a saying that goes around that says, how you meet them is how you lose them. Now, uh, say you met someone and you like how they look, how they smell, how they walk, how they talk. You get together, you guys
Right.
are exclusive, and 2 years later, um, they are different in a way, physically speaking. They kind of let
Right.
themselves
Right.
go a little bit or
Okay.
whatnot. And
Right. Right.
so,
Right.
would you
Right.
say
Right.
that it's their responsibility to, like, if the person on the other end of that are like, man, like I'm still, don't get me wrong, like I'm still attracted to you and everything. Like we still vibe, we still have great conversations and everything. We
Right.
still have
Right.
each other's
Right.
back.
Right.
However, my physical attraction
Right.
for you is dwindling because you have not been keeping yourself up. How do you feel about that? Is that okay to have that mindset to even feel that way?
No. No,
Okay.
it's no, because we are ethereal. We are our minds. We are our thoughts. We are our words. We are only here in a body temporarily anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Even whether you believe in a future heaven or hell, it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. We're only here with a temporary gift of a body, and it is our responsibility to do the best we can with it. Not all of us can and will,
Mm-hmm.
sadly.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as attraction is concerned, it always changes over the years. We all put on a little weight in general. I mean, with rare exceptions. The people who really are on top of it.
Right.
It's not that you have to look at them with different eyes, with more adult eyes, with more mature eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that you're less attracted to them. You are still as attracted to them if you still love them. You are. Don't say you aren't. You are still as feel the same way about them. You're not fond of the way they've taken care of their body, but we're all imperfect, and that's one of their flaws that you have to accept. There are flaws people have that are maybe not fixable, maybe are fixable, but that has to come from them. And you're telling them that is not helpful at all. And you really don't feel that way. If you think about it deeply, you really don't feel that way. Yeah, maybe they are less attractive. Okay, they are absolutely less attractive, but they are. I just saw a thing on. I don't do a lot of reading. I don't do much social media, and I don't do a lot of gossip reading. I don't believe in gossip. It's against the Torah,
Mm-hmm.
and I agree with them. But and forget
Mm-hmm.
about those reality shows. God,
They're
anyway,
scripted anyway.
I just saw some. Yeah, well, yeah, and even if they were real, it would be nonsense. But I just saw, what was it? Pierce Brosnan with his wife. You look at the picture of him and her when they met, okay, and
Mm-hmm.
they were both sexy, attractive. Their bodies were beautiful, and
Mm-hmm.
now she's chunky. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
she's still got a great shape, but she's chunky, and he still, because of his business and his work, he still looks the same, pretty much, as pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
But he says, I love her. So what if she's fat? He didn't say it that way.
Right. 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 Oh
I'm
no, I
saying
know he
that.
didn't. I know he
Oh, the
didn't.
hell, what? Oh, I know he didn't say it. He didn't say it that way. Yes, but bodies are just your external way of getting around the world.
Mhm.
You are your mind. You are your heart. Your heart is actually only a pumping organ. It's only an organ that pumps the blood through your body. That's all it is. It's not your love, your feelings, your thoughts. It's not. And your gut too. Your gut. They say now your gut. They say that in your gut there are like receptors like the brain. I don't know, but there I do believe in gut feelings, mind
Yeah,
you. But
right,
I don't know about
exactly.
that.
Intuition
But
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
what is that called?
Yeah,
Intuition and
all that, yeah. But you
discernment.
know what I say about that? Yes, yes. But you know what I say about that is that actually our minds are supercomputers or like supercomputers. And we have this humongous amount of information and knowledge. Even when you're young, you're learning so much and there's so much there. And unconsciously, your mind is always interpreting what's going on around you. And so therefore, this gut feeling you have is not out of nowhere. It's your mind picking up signals and things and putting it all together. And that's why you're having it. So,
Hmm.
yeah, that's how I look at it.
Okay. Well, with that being said, we're going to take a quick music break. Wow, this is amazing. Again, people, this is Takeover Tuesday on KWEXL Radio. Next up, Changes by Phil Oakes. We'll be right back.
Oh, I love you.
Oh,
One of my
yeah, I
favorite
got you.
songs of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm. Sit by my side, come as close as the air, sharing a memory of grace, and wander in my world, dream about the pictures that I play of changes. Green leaves of summer turn red in the fall, to brown and to yellow they fade, and then they have to die, trapped within the circle time parade of changes. Scenes of my young years were warm in my mind, visions of shadows that shine, till one day I returned and found they were the victims of the vines of changes. The world spinning madly, it drifts in the dark, swings through a hollow of haze, a race around the stars, a journey through the universe ablaze with changes. Moments of magic will glow in the night. All fears of the forest are gone. But when the morning breaks, they're swept away by golden drops of dawn, of changes. Passions will part to a strange melody, as fires will sometimes burn cold, like petals in the wind. We're puppets to the silver strings of souls, of changes.
Your tears will be trembling, now we're somewhere else. One last cup of wine we will pour, and I'll kiss you one more time and leave you on the rolling river shores of changes. So sit by my side, come as close as the air, share in a memory of grace, wander in my words, dream about the pictures that I play of changes.
Okay.
All right. That is Phil Oakes. That is the first time I heard that song. Well, not really, because I had to,
Is it?
because I looked it up. But no, it's a very nice song.
Yeah.
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 And that's why I ask. That's another reason why I ask. When you fill out the application and everything, like because it also
Mm-hmm.
gives me because I'm a musician and that it runs through my blood. My father,
Ah.
he's a musician. I don't know what instrument he can't
Uh-huh.
play. So I'm always
Uh-huh.
looking for new music or music I've never heard before. And it gives me a chance to broaden my horizons when it comes to different genres of music. So, yeah,
Uh-huh.
no, very nice. Phil Oakes,
Yeah.
changes. Okay. So, welcome
Yeah.
back, everybody.
But
This is Takeover
that's not what
Tuesday.
that's not. Let me just say that's not
You
what
got
he's
it.
known for. He's known for his political music, his political songs.
Oh, okay. Sure.
He
But
was
yeah,
anti-Vietnam, anti-America, invading other countries, all of that stuff. You really should listen to him. It's got some brilliant stuff.
okay. All right. And this is what Takeover Tuesday is about. You're taking over my Tuesday. You got the mic. You know what I'm saying? You got the floor. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, it's all good.
Yeah, I know.
So, have you ever heard of 50-50 before when it comes to relationships?
I've heard that funny. That's very funny, 50-50. Relationships are never 50-50.
well,
Sometimes
well,
it's
they're talking
100%
about
zero.
they're more so talking about like the bills, the financial aspect of the
Oh,
relationship.
well, okay. Yeah, yeah. No. Well, again, even in that case, relationships aren't never 50-50. I put my husband through 8 years of school and he only worked part-time, you know, and I was
Man,
out
you
there
better
trugging. I
say
put the down
that.
payment on a house.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, no, I don't believe in 50-50. Believe me, I don't believe in 50-50. Not
She
financial
said,
or
"Hold
anything
up."
else. You know. Nope.
Yeah, no, because they say a lot of people say they're like, yeah, no, 50-50 is okay because today it's so expensive. Other people are saying no. If you want to go 50-50 with someone, then you might as well get a roommate. And on the other side of that,
Yeah. Well,
you have people that say,
yeah.
well, you're paying all of your bills right now by yourself, right? Yeah, your car note, your rent, your
Right. Right.
mortgage.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Right.
So wouldn't it be a financial gain for you to get into a relationship with someone and they
Uh,
assist you with paying those bills? You pay them together,
it,
and then they get quiet.
well, it is an interesting question, and a lot of people break up due to financial issues.
True.
No question, and a
Yeah.
lot of marriages are destroyed by financial issues. First, I do. If you talk about marriage, first I do believe in um, in prenuptial agreements because I think that some people are being treated unfairly. On the other hand, I also personally believe that that's when you don't expect the person to be fair, and you have a
Right.
right to feel that way because in general, a lot of people aren't fair about the demands they make when a relationship breaks up. But as far as financial understanding between people, it's a tough question. It's
Hmm.
like also a tough question. I'll just get off for a second, is do you or do you not want children? That's something you need to know up front. So up front, you do need to know financially, how are we going to deal with this relationship once you have a real relationship going? For me, it was an easy answer, okay? I give what I can give, and I don't expect anything in return. But I do expect this relationship to last, and in the end, I expect us to have a more equal basis financially. Maybe sometimes I'll support you more, sometimes you'll support me more. We went through 10 years of we were on welfare for 10 years. When the recession hit in 2008, my
2008,
husband
yeah.
lost everything: his work, his job, his business,
Mm,
and we struggled, and we just got very lucky. But so financial problems, financial issues are something you need to talk about and get straightened out before you get married. You do before before you continue a relationship. You should never feel that someone is after you just for your money.
right.
You know
Yeah.
that's really horrible.
Yeah, because what they say, or maybe what they used to say. They say on the first date, there's three things you don't talk about. There's three topics you avoid, and that's money, religion, and politics. But it sounds like you don't necessarily agree with that. If you're dating this person
No,
to court them and then to marry them, right?
yes, I don't agree with that. For example, I have cut off two cousins because of how they feel about Trump.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, I want to know up front about that.
Hmm. Hmm.
I definitely want to know up front about that, and I want to know up front about what your spiritual. It doesn't have to be religion per se, but what your spiritual beliefs are. Who
Hmm.
are you spiritually? I think that is an important question, and I do want to know that right away. I don't want to wait to hear that.
Right. You
You
don't want to
know.
waste any time. Yeah.
Right, right. But financial, exactly. But financial stuff, I don't. I guess financial stuff you don't really have to talk about unless someone's wearing, shoes that need to be resold and they really have nothing. Then you might want to bring it up,
Right.
talk about how they're doing and what's going on in their lives.
Yeah, no, because they say I've done some googling, and they say nowadays people are asking just straight off the bat, what's your credit score? And they say they bring up financial
Oh, oh,
questions
that's
just
ugly.
because, yeah,
Oh, oh,
yeah.
that's really
She
ugly,
said
Chevelle.
that's
Oh,
ugly.
oh, oh, that's so ugly. Oh God. Oh my God. That is so ugly.
What's
I
ugly
mean, I
about
knew
it? What's
people were
ugly about
clueless.
it, Bill?
Oh, what's ugly about it? Oh my God, is that ugly? What's your credit score? Okay, that says to me that you're a rapacious, greedy bitch, or whatever other word you want to use, or man.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
about to say, what if the
we're
man is
really talking about
asking?
women here, aren't we? Okay, let's say we're talking, and let's say that's a woman's thing. Tends to be right. Uh, but that's ugly. That's just ugly. Really. And if I were a man and someone said that to me, I would say, I'm taking you home now, dear. We're going home. Not because it doesn't matter what my financials were. I mean, I could have the best fight or the worst or in the middle. I would not even talk to somebody like that if they came up and said that to me. People are worse than clueless. What's a better word, Chevelle?
What,
People are
what,
worse
what,
than
what's a better
clueless.
word for what? Clueless?
Than clueless. Clueless.
A better
Completely
word for
clueless.
clueless. People are people just don't know. They just don't understand. And sometimes people are just
Yeah, they
assholes,
just
honestly. And some people are
yeah,
just sometimes they're
yeah,
just baiting. They just want to know how you're going to handle that type of
yeah,
question. How you're going to react, and then
yeah.
they'll base their decisions whether or not. And I think that's a real low way of handling that. You're baiting
Yeah.
someone to answer something
Yeah. Oh,
that
oh
they're
yeah. Oh
probably
yeah. That's
uncomfortable with
disgusting.
answering. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Yeah.
that ain't right.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Um, so
No. 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 No.
so
No.
okay, on the first
Well,
date,
then you know
no.
who to eliminate immediately, though, right? Immediately. As I said, I just tell them I'm taking you home. Or if you'd like, I'll give you money for a cab. Better. You know?
She
Yeah.
said, "I'm taking. It's time to go. Check, please, garçon. Garçon, check."
Yeah. 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 Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, so
No.
that's the first date. Now,
Hmm.
say the first date goes well, and you're like, man, like I'm really digging this
Yeah.
person. You go on a
Hmm.
second and third date now. Now your dates are starting to
Hmm.
just look like just walks around the park, just walking and talking. You know what I mean? Like we're barely spending
Hmm.
money on these dates. It's just
Sure.
about being around each other and spending that quality time with each other.
Right. Right.
Is there? Would you
Right.
say there is before marriage, before proposal? Would you say that there's a
Right.
time where you probably should kind of try to dabble into not their finances like literally, but kind of try to figure out where they are, or do you think you can kind of see that
Oh no. Yeah.
in your daily engagements with them?
It, yeah. I think honestly, if you're perceptive, you can see it in the way they live. Um, where they're living, who they're living with, what they wear. what their car looks like, all of that stuff. All of that stuff is you're getting signals. You get signals from everywhere around them. You're getting signals from the way they gesture at you, the way they touch you, the way they look at you, the way they hold their body, the way they talk. All of this is those gestures, and you're getting gestures from and understanding and signals from everything that they find important in their lives, like the clothes they wear. Are they more casual? Are they more formal? The kinds of car they drive. All of that stuff has value to your decision and evaluation of that person, and as to whether they're right for you. So yes, but I don't think you need to actually ask.
How much you make a year?
Yeah, I'm like, I mean, when you do decide that you're going to, okay, I love you, let's get married, that's the time when you can talk about it.
Okay. Right, that's the time you talk about it. I'm listening. I'm taking notes. I'm hearing what you're saying. She said that is when you talk about it. Now you're not saying say I do and then talk about it. You're not saying that.
No. You should.
Because some people got some astronomical debt.
Yes. Right. You need to. You don't want to be taking that on and then find out afterwards that this person has a gambling problem and owes $30,000 on this and 40 on the car. And no, you need to straighten all that out before you actually get married. But when you say, I want to marry you. I want us to be together forever now. I want us to live together, and not just live together, but live together and stay together forever. I want us to connect that way. That's when you have the right and the obligation for yourself, for the future, and for yourself, and to protect yourself. I'm not saying don't protect yourself. People jump in clueless and have no understanding of what they're getting themselves into, no idea of how to do it, no idea of how to nurture a relationship and make it last, and no idea how to actually compromise and get along with each other. They just don't. But at least if you know in advance, okay, this is where this person is. I can deal with that. I can deal with this. And people get into trouble when they don't ask, don't they?
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. People be setting themselves up for failure, making the decisions to be with certain people for certain aspects that they broadcast on their lives. Again, you got to use that discernment, people.
Red flags.
Yeah, absolutely.
Red flags. And pay attention. Don't get carried away. Yes, you love this person. You adore them. They're magnificent. They're perfect. But don't get carried away with that. Keep your feet on the ground and your mind understanding. Let's find out what this person is inside, underneath, what their habits are. Can you get along with them? My girlfriend is having a problem now. My best friend is having a problem now. She's 75 and she's got a boyfriend, and the problem is the dog.
The dog. Is she allergic to dogs, or she doesn't like the dander, the fur? What is it?
No. Well, she doesn't like that, but that's not the biggest problem. The problem is that the dog was his emotional crutch for so long that he's constantly petting it and including it in things and doing things that are just stupid and annoying and should be put to the side. It's just he's just and it's going to kill their relationship. I see it. It is already killing their relationship.
The dog is coming in between their relationship. Huh? I thought about that.
That's correct. That's
like,
correct. That's
because
correct. He respects the dog's needs more than hers. It is, that's
I mean,
a good
don't get
one,
me
right?
wrong. That's your companion right there. That's your best bud. I understand that, man's best friend.
Yes,
but
I
at
get
the
that.
same time, no, I mean, you got to find some balance. You got to find some balance.
Hey, thank you. Yes, that's what she's not getting, and that's what I'm talking. But that's just one little situation.
She over there got a boyfriend at 75. Sure.
Oh yes.
She out there.
They're engaged.
Around.
They're engaged.
They're engaged. How long have they been talking?
Yeah. Oh, they've been together about a year and a half, I think. But the dog is the problem. Yeah.
I don't know, Bill. If they're engaged, that means she said yes. And I don't think the dog is gone. I think that if and when they do walk down the aisle, once she becomes, Mrs. his last name, that's wife now.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to come to that. I think you're too optimistic.
Where's the faith?
I've known her for 60 years, over 60 years,
Man,
and
that is
I'm
awesome.
telling you, it's not going to happen.
That is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Man, nah, that's that.
yeah.
See, that's that platonic love, that sisterly love you was talking about. How there's different types of
Yes,
love out there.
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely,
100%.
absolutely. We're like sisters. That's right.
I
That's
heard
right.
that. Shoot, so you know her like the back of your hand. So you might know her better than she know herself.
Absolutely. I do. I do.
So would you say did he have to pass the test then? You know, meeting you, and did he have to get your approval for her to move forward with him?
No, no, not at all. Because I respect her judgment, and it's terrible about men. I always knew that. What what can I tell you? It's her life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So all
He's
right.
a very nice man.
So okay, yeah. She said he's very nice. So then, would you say that uh, it's it's essential for people to introduce the person they're dating to their immediate friend group and or family before taking it a
Absolutely.
step further? Okay,
Absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, yeah, absolutely. No question.
Now, what if those groups don't see what you see?
Approve.
Uh huh. Yeah.
Well, see, there you go. So my husband's parents and his aunt and uncle, they were saying nasty things to my parents and calling them and letting us get married and stuff. They were not happy at all.
Mm.
And he had one friend who was perfectly fine with me and another one who would badmouth me, okay, when we first got married, or actually before we got married. And so with regard to the family, we dealt with it. Like I said, 6 months in, I told him, just recontact them. This is just stupid. Um, but as far as the friends were concerned, the friend who dissed me, I said, look, I said to him, look, we love each other. I love you, but I can't have your best friend bad mouthing me constantly.
Right.
Yeah, I just a good friend of his. So he cut him out of his life, and that was that. I did ask. I asked for that. I did.
Okay.
I
Okay.
did, and he was obviously hung, and his parents were obviously wrong. So sometimes they're right. You have to consider maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not seeing something I should be seeing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you have to consider whether that's true or whether they're just wrong, and you're going to go with your own personal feelings about the person, you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and your own judgment.
Right.
That's a
Because
decision you have to make.
right at the end of the day, they're going to see if you decide to continue to stick it out with that person because you guys have something wonderful. It looks wonderful if you put it on
Right,
paper. It looks wonderful
right,
to the third party.
right,
Eventually, your
right.
family and friends, they're going to see that, and they'll have the
Yes.
decision to either change to acknowledge that they see that, or they'll just stick to their
Mm.
guns and be like, "Ah, I don't care. I don't care. I
Right,
don't
right.
trust
I
them.
mean,
I
that's
don't
right.
trust her." Yeah.
That's
So.
that's right. That's true. That's right. You're not going to change their mind. You know the saying: you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink.
Mm-hmm.
You can, so you have to live your own truth.
Absolutely, 100%. Because can't nobody else live it for you.
That's right.
Dude. So, what was the journey like when you were writing your book? What was that
Well,
process like?
well, like I said, I decided 7 years ago. I saw so much unnecessary heartbreak and pain and suffering and fear for of people and disconnection especially and people connecting with their phones and their computers. And now
Yeah,
I actually had someone say to me the other day that he likes his AI better than his wife. His no, it's not what he said. He said his AI treats him better than his wife is what he said. Well, of course
interesting.
it does. But
Right.
anyway,
That is interesting.
because
There's
of
a
course
guy that
there's no
married
conflict
AI.
there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, what about that Joaquin Phoenix movie? I think it was called Her. That was I mean, it's very
Oh
sick,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it is what it is. Yeah,
yeah. No,
right.
no,
That
no,
was
no, no,
that was
no. In
a
real
part of
life,
it.
there's a guy that
Is
he,
there really?
yeah, I seen it like either last year. Yeah, it had to be last year. But he married. There's some guy. He married his AI wife, and
Oh
that's
God,
right, right. First of all, who
that's
even allowed that? Who was there to say,
yeah, yeah. Who
by the
who
power
who
invested in
performed the
me?
ceremony?
Right, you know
Right,
what I'm
right,
saying?
right, right.
Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on.
yeah, that's
Um,
strange.
mm,
To
that is
each their
very,
own, I
very,
guess.
very strange.
Um,
Yeah.
But yeah, again, people, this is Takeover
Take me
Tuesday.
back to that question.
Yeah.
Yes.
You said, I'm sorry, what was that? Take you back to what?
Take me back to that question because I diverted you with the. I wanted to answer the question, and I've lost it.
Oh, what was that? What was that darn question? Take you back to the question. Shoot, girl, shoot, I don't even remember. Again, this is Takeover Tuesday,
Oh, if you
people. This is real and raw. Oh, she remembers. Let's get it going.
okay. I think it was something. What was asked through the question about what if your family doesn't and your
Oh yeah,
friends
yeah, yeah.
don't
Your
like
social group
don't
doesn't
like
approve. Yeah.
them. Yeah, doesn't approve. You have to listen and hear what they're saying and look at their point of view and be objective about it and evaluate what they're saying. Is what they're saying important to you? Does all the negative stuff that they're pointing out, does that affect you how you should be looking at the person? I mean,
Mhm.
we all evaluate our friends, our family. We make choices, we make decisions. How do it's okay to listen, but you really need to. People are not discerning enough. People are not trying to understand other people hard enough.
Mhm.
I think that's a problem. I think that there's too much entertainment available, too much easy stroking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And just
too many options. I feel honestly, I'm
yeah,
talking about at your
yeah,
fingertips.
yeah,
Because what is that?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
the swipe left
exactly.
culture. There's always someone better.
Yeah,
So you feel
yeah,
like there's this
absolutely.
illusion of endless options. And to be quite
Yes,
frank, you
yes.
don't have endless options. You don't.
No, you don't. No, you don't. And that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad, but that's the mentality today because of all the opportunities and the everything is open to you and a second and this instant gratification. You didn't text me right back. Yeah, I was
Oh my
working. I
goodness,
was
the
at
instant
work.
gratification. Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God, I you 3 times and you didn't get back to me. I
Mm-hmm.
was working. I was busy. I mean, it's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I see it. If they don't have time for me, if they're not there when I want them, when I need
Yeah, yeah,
them,
yeah. All this selfishness.
yeah,
Yes, it's very selfish. It's a very selfish, egocentric, terrible generation. It's just awful.
yeah, it's unfortunate, man, because
Yeah.
there can be you can literally uh, play yourself out of finding that person that was put
Oh,
here on this
sure.
earth for you.
Oh, sure you can. Of course you can. Of course you can.
Yeah.
As I said, you don't trust quickly, but you enter with a whole heart, with all
Mm-hmm.
effort.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, you're not going to get the same results.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, and like you
And
said before,
accept
people are just
failure.
scared. Yeah, I was just about to touch on that. Like you said
Yeah.
before, people are
Yeah.
afraid of failure. They see, well, they
Yeah, but
fail
failure
once,
is a life
they fail
lesson.
twice,
Failure is the
and then they
biggest
fail
life
a third
lesson.
time, and they're like, well, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm just not going to. Well, just keep going. Well, here's the thing. My father asked me, my last relationship before this one, uh,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
so in between, he said, well, he said, son, he said, I'm gonna ask you something my father asked me. All right. He said,
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's going to be prolific and deep. He said, did you learn anything? And I sat
Ah.
there and yeah, I did. I did learn something.
Yeah.
He said, okay then.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
was that. So yeah, so when you fail,
Yeah. Yeah.
growth
Yeah.
comes from failing and learning from your mistakes. Okay. That
That's
is one way how to grow.
right. That's right.
So don't be afraid to
And there's
fail.
a lot more you can learn. That's right. And there's a lot more that you can often learn from failure than you can from success.
Yes, absolutely.
And not just in love, in life. In
Yes.
life,
Hmm.
I'm not talking just about love.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of success, some people are afraid of success, not
Oh,
because
yes,
they're
sure.
afraid of like what comes along with it, as far as like all their hard work paying off and they're reaping um, the benefits of their hard work. Not that. Some
Sure.
people are afraid of the part of what comes with success, which is they have to keep that up. They have to maintain that
Oh, yes, yes,
success.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
The expectations that are involved with that, yeah, yeah, what they
Right.
have to keep doing, or yeah, yeah, all of that. Yeah, well, when you've been on welfare, you
Hmm.
know
Hmm.
that money comes and goes, success comes and goes,
Mm-hmm.
but when you have a magnificent relationship with a spectacular human being that you feel that way about,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing like it in the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I come from.
Do you think how do you feel about, or what are your thoughts rather on dating multiple people at the same time? Essentially playing
I
the
will tell
process
you.
of
I will tell you
elimination.
that. Yeah, yeah. No, I will tell you that. I will tell you that you really that people are, if not biologically, emotionally capable of polyamory, of loving more than one person at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's just the way it is. Okay, but when you decide you can date several people at a time, but when you decide that one person is one you'd like to see if it will work out to be the relationship, the one, you shouldn't be looking at other people. You shouldn't be dating other people. You might be attracted. There are a lot of attractive people out there. Hell,
Right.
there are a lot of more attractive men than my husband at his age, that I could
Mm-hmm.
look at and go. And I have to tell you that on Quora, I get a lot of men who want to follow me and who want me to DM me and who want to. I go, look. First of all, I don't do internet relationships. Period. Second of all, I'm perfectly happily married. I'm not interested. Goodbye. But I'm sure some of them show pictures that are very attractive, but I couldn't care less. The idea is you make a commitment to somebody, you take them for who they are, you accept their flaws and faults, and you work on those things together, and you both grow and change together, and you make a great life together. And that's what it's all about. When you can, anybody can do that. If we can do it, you can do it. But it
Now,
takes a lot of hard work,
hmm,
effort, and energy that
absolutely,
people
it's work.
forget about. Yeah, it's hard work every day. Some of it is simple and easy, and some of it is a little more harder to do. But it's the hardest, one of, if not the hardest job you will ever take on. A long-term relationship, a good, healthy, fulfilling, happy long-term relationship. But it's worth it.
Right. So you don't think that um, someone dating multiple people, playing the process of elimination, because they're just dating, but they are looking for, that for their forever person. And so they're dating
Yeah.
multiple people. You don't think that that might, of course, depending on the individual, because not everybody is the
Right.
same and processes things the same and
Right. Right.
all of
Right.
that. But you don't think that that can sometimes hinder that person's judgment because they're dealing with multiple people? Thus, they're comparing um, those people to each other.
Right. Do I think? Do I think that's good? No, I don't think that impairs their judgment. I think they're not ready, and they haven't met the person that they want to commit to. That's what I think. Of
Mm-hmm.
all those people, if you're dating two people and you can't I've answered the question this way. This has come to me. If you're dating two people and you can't decide between them, to me that says that you don't love either one of them enough to commit to them.
I heard
That's
that.
what I think.
I heard that because yeah, like when you know, you know. So, and would you
Yeah,
say that
exactly.
it's would you say that it's more of a feeling than just a decision on well, I want he or she can, well, let's just say from the woman's perspective, and of course I know that you'll
Yeah, yeah.
correct me when I'm wrong. But like if she's like, well, he's more financially stable and he can actually afford the lifestyle that I'd like to live, and then on the other hand you
Well, that
have
would be a
option
terrible
B
choice.
that right, but you have option B to where, but man, he's really like his whole vibe, like we definitely vibe on a whole nother level than compared to option
Right,
A.
right, right, right.
What would you have to
Right.
say? Like, and they're just torn between that. Like they want a
Right.
finished product,
Well,
but that finished product they
right.
don't vibe on the same level as they do with
They're
option
not
B.
willing to. They're not willing to put in the work to get the finished product.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
again, it reflects back on the answer I just gave you. That means to me that neither of them are a good choice.
Hmm.
Okay, that's what it says to me.
Hmm.
Neither of them are the best choice. Anyway, maybe not a good choice. Maybe neither of them are the best choice because if you're comparing uh, feeling with feelings, and that's your sole basis for judgment, whether that one is fine. The only difference between them, you're saying, is basically that just one is financially stable and the other one isn't. That's a really lousy That's not a way to choose. The thing about choosing somebody, especially if you're trying to choose the right person, is that it's complicated. It's a lot of different factors. It's not. It's sometimes it's like, well, yeah, am I willing to wait? For me, am I willing to wait till he finishes school to be able to feel that he can support me? That's one. It's a lot of complicated things, though. It's not just one thing that's leading you toward that decision, but it has to be made. You have to decide. Yes, has some financial security, has draw. It
Mm-hmm.
has gravitas.
Mm-hmm.
You may say, well, he doesn't make enough money, and he probably never will. He doesn't have the education. Well, maybe if he doesn't have the education, you can help him, send him back to school, help him through that.
Mm.
Help him get to a better place.
Mm.
So it's a really shitty way to choose.
Mm.
It's so much more than just money. It's so much more.
I heard that. Yeah, sometimes you got to hold them down. And that was one of my questions for you, but you already touched on that because I was going to ask you, was there ever a time where you had to hold it down for so your husband can get back on his feet and become that sole provider?
Sure.
And you already answered that earlier. You were like, yeah, in 2008, man, I
Sure.
had to do what I had to buckle down and do what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? You said you put him through school and everything,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
That is something that,
Absolutely.
oh my goodness. Yeah, that is, I want people to hear that. And that goes both ways. That goes both
Sure.
ways. And
Sure,
at the
of
same
course.
time, so Belle, I'm sure you've heard, there's, and again, I think that social media is the internet's equivalent to Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
I think it's all
Yes.
smoke and mirrors.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
all the things that I see on
Yes.
social media when it comes to different people's opinions and mindsets about relationships and all types of relationships. I'm just all like, I have not seen this in real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with that
Yeah.
said, when it comes to holding each other down, yeah, it goes both ways. You got guys that are saying like, I don't
Yeah.
care if she works at McDonald's, man, she can work at McDonald's for the rest of her life, da 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 da. But then you have some women saying like, no,
Right.
he cannot work at McDonald's. He needs to do this, that, and the third. And a lot of
Right.
times these are
Right.
not
Yeah.
tradition. They don't have the traditional mindset. And speaking of traditional mindset, um,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on the traditional mindset? Because a lot of people aren't thinking about, well, what if something does happen and I do have to hold it down? What doesn't that push tradition out of the window? Because traditionally the man
Well,
is the sole provider and blah blah blah.
yeah.
Right. So what are your
Right.
thoughts?
I think
Expand on that.
that's gone the way of I think that's gone the way of the wind. Tradition. I mean, Jewish people are big on tradition, but it's never been that well. I mean, there was a lot. My grandfather said to me when I was 12 years old, 11, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We used to study together my Hebrew studies, and he said to me, "Oh, you're too smart. You should have been a boy." Yeah. So
Okay.
there,
I've never
there's
heard
that.
that.
Oh, you never heard that?
No.
Yeah, that's a very Jewish thought. That's
Okay.
because you're not Jewish, sweetheart.
Got
Yeah,
you.
that's a
Okay,
Jewish thought.
okay.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
little peek
But
inside of the community. I got you.
yeah, yeah. But it's tradition. What is that? What is that tradition? We are a growing and evolving world. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
traditions are important. Traditions like Sabbath services and Easter dinner and Passover seders. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, all of that. There are certain traditions that should always stay. On the other hand, assumptions about human beings and their roles, male and female, that's a
Exactly. Yeah.
bunch of crap.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So what you're saying is that it's okay for the woman to take out the garbage.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, for example, now my husband, I cooked. I'm a gourmet cook. I cooked for 45 years. My husband took that over 7 years ago. I'm perfectly happy with that.
Right. Yeah.
He's not as good a cook as I am, but he's pretty damn good,
Uh-oh.
and I'm perfectly satisfied with that.
He's
Yeah.
not as good of a cook. I heard that. But he know what he's doing in that kitchen though. He know what he's doing. He got it going on.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
Okay.
And when
All right.
he doesn't, he watches the video that shows him what to do.
Hey, I've heard, if you can read, you can cook.
There you go. There you go.
So you don't be standing over his shoulder, do you? You don't be standing. Go ahead and put a little bit more
No,
up in
no,
there.
no, no.
Yeah,
And
go ahead and grab that.
but the best part of it, Chevelle, is that he cleans up after himself. Oh,
Oh,
That's
he
a
cleans
dream.
as he goes. Okay, yeah. Well, they say
No,
a
I
good
wish.
cook is a
No, he
clean cook.
doesn't. No, he doesn't clean as he goes. That's the bad part of it.
Uh, we just can't
But he does.
win.
Now, yeah. Wait. Hey, look, sweetheart, we're all imperfect. Each and every one of us. We're exquisite creatures. We're all miracles because out of millions of sperm and one little ova came you,
I won the
and
race.
you, and you. Yeah, it's a miracle. Your life is such a great gift. So few people appreciate that enough.
Man, I agree. Wow. Yeah, no, absolutely. Sheesh, this is Takeover Tuesday, y'all, and she is taking over. I'm trying to tell you. Man, thank you for hanging out with us today. This is amazing. So again, her book is called, it's right there on the screen. It has not left the screen, Our Relationships for Suckers. And you can find that by clicking on the link in the description. And it'll be right there. Boom. She got the hardback, the softback. She got everything you want, everything you need. How long did it take
Wait,
you
I'm going to do the audio. I'm going to do the audio one myself. I haven't done it yet.
Oh, okay. So you about to be reading and all. Okay. All right. That's cool. When is that coming out?
Well, as soon as I get my butt down and
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Soon, I promise.
All right. Well, there you go. Audio coming soon, y'all. Shoot, tap in. Shoot. And I'm sure that people are enjoying this. And I'm sure they will enjoy this if they haven't caught this early morning, because people are at work and all of that stuff. But wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, with that being said, let's take one more musical break, and we'll be right back. And up next is Snow Patrol Chasing Cars.
Nah.
We'll do it all, everything on our own. We don't need anything or anyone. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world? I don't quite know how to say how I feel. Those 3 words are said too much. They're not enough. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world? Forget what we're told before we get too old. Show me a garden that's bursting into life. Let's waste time chasing cars around our heads. I need your grace to remind me to find my own. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me If I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world?
Welcome back, everyone. This is KWEXL Radio, and I'm your host with the most from the left coast, the best coast, Neon Black Chevelle. And today is Takeover Tuesday, and we're having our Tuesday taken over with very special guest, Belle Gayer. Belle?
Yes.
All right. There you
Yes.
are. So, this is me. This is my first time using some of these features on this for this show.
Mm-hmm.
When I put you on hold, are you still able to hear the music?
I just hear like like crappy music, like what is elevator music they'll
Yeah.
call it, right?
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that's
Cool.
it.
Okay, because I'm using Google Voice, and I wanted to know that. So that means earlier when we were listening to Phil Oakes, when I eventually put you on
I
hold,
got to, I got
cut
deeply
off. And,
disappointed.
yeah. Right. Oh my goodness. Okay.
But
Oh.
I have him on my, I have him on my, I have him, I have a CD player with 300 CDs on it, so I'm good. It's okay.
Okay.
I forgive you.
Okay. Well, for future reference, I should have told you this in the beginning. So we're live on air on YouTube, right? We're streaming live on YouTube. So you could,
Okay,
you could
okay.
look it up on the YouTube, and boom, like it would have been playing right there. But
Finally.
I'm sorry. I apologize. That's my
Oh, that's
bad.
okay. I told you it's not a big deal, really, honey. It's not.
All right, bet.
I forgive you. It's
Hey,
been
I
lovely talking
appreciate
to
it.
you, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't
Yeah.
need you flying out here to Arizona and whipping my butt now. You gonna turn off the
Ah,
Phil
okay.
Oaks? All right. Um, so again, this is Takeover Tuesday, people, and we'll be wrapping it up here pretty soon. But I had some questions I wanted to ask you in hopes that people would actually take more than they expected from this show today, and that is
Yes.
the advice people don't hear, or the advice people don't want to hear. As in, like,
Yeah.
what's the truth about
Right.
relationships people avoid? Like, what is that truth about relationships people avoid?
Um, well, I think today, because there's so much instant gratification, it makes it harder to say, well, I'm okay, I'm happy, I'm doing well on my own, I'm self-reliant. Why do I want to even bother, putting up with somebody's shit?
Yeah.
I get it. I understand, and I can do what I want when I want. I mean, I have a lot of older single ladies friends who've been divorced or widowed, and they're not interested in dating at all. And that I get too.
Right.
But when you're young, I say this from the bottom of my heart. Everything you put into a good relationship, a healthy, fulfilling relationship, is worth every penny, especially if you actually do make it and you don't die on us, or you don't
Mm-hmm.
have some terrible issues that create rifts between you. If you make it to 25, 35, 45, 50 years or more, it's worth every second of the hard work that you have had to put in. It's there's nothing like the feeling of waking up and seeing the person that you've loved all your life next to you. There's nothing like a kiss in the morning and a kiss at night before you go to sleep. There's nothing like someone who says to you, "It's just you and me, babe," which is
Right.
what my husband has said to me many times. There's nothing like having the support and love and depth of emotions that you can experience living with somebody, a truly loving life together. There's nothing like that. You can't do that alone. You just can't. Uh, so that's what I would say.
Right. Waking up at the beginning, middle, and end of every day, choosing that same
Mm.
person every day.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And
And
I feel
knowing that they've chosen you as well.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because it's a two-way street. So yeah. No.
Sure.
Wow. Okay, Belle. I see you. I see you, girl. I see you.
Uh-huh.
So I have a legacy question for you. Um,
Ah.
So, if your husband were sitting here right now, or he's probably, I don't know where he is. Maybe he's in the other room,
He's
listening.
downstairs working, is what he's
Oh,
doing.
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
He's downstairs working, and I'm upstairs.
okay. But if he was sitting here right now, what would you say
Yeah.
to him after all these years?
I what I do, I say to him a lot. I say, "You are the most spectacular husband in the universe. You are. I adore you." That's what I say to him. He just. I have to be very careful what I say I like because it's liable to show up the next morning in the house from Amazon.
I heard that.
That's the kind of person that he is too. On top of how loving and generous and understanding of me that he is, and we do put up with some things with each other. Everybody does, and live intimately with someone. You have to put up with stuff, but he is just an exquisite human being, loving, caring, generous, and kind, and well, and I tell him that, with some frequency. I will refer to that, more than once in a month or two. I say things when it's appropriate to say them like that. I so appreciate. Thank you so much for everything you do for me, everything you are for me and to me. You people don't do it enough. People don't listen hard enough. They don't verify. We had the blowout that we had 2 weeks ago was because we had a misunderstanding,
Hmm.
of a situation. That's what
Hmm.
people just don't communicate well enough. That's such a strong key.
How
And
did you
when
guys
you
work
have
that out,
so
by the way?
what do you mean?
When
Oh,
you, yeah, the
you mean
misunderstanding.
oh, we worked it out by we I actually one of the few times we've gone to bed when we haven't resolved something. We went to sleep and we were still angry at each other. And then in the morning we spoke about it. In the morning, when you wake up and say, "Ugh, we got to deal with this."
Hmm.
So we just talked it out. We said, okay, you're coming from. Where are you coming from? How did you see what happened?
Right. What was your
And no,
perception?
that's
Yeah.
not how it happened.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah, it was he wasn't there for part of the situation and he misread the situation. Okay. So it wasn't hard to work out. It was just letting your emotions get in the way of and misunderstanding and that's the thing. Listen harder. Ask what do you mean when you say that? What did you mean? Getting into the deeper meaning of what people are saying to you. You know?
Yeah.
That's the problem. People just make assumptions and they think they're right because, oh, I know what they meant. No, you don't necessarily really know what they meant.
Hmm.
If
Yeah.
you aren't perfectly clear, clear it up.
Absolutely. Yeah. And don't be afraid to ask. And uh, don't
Wait,
be
and
afraid to
listen
answer.
harder. Listen harder.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to say, and don't blame. Keep the blame off of that,
Oh man, that's
and
huge.
don't say you did this. You say I feel this way.
Hmm.
I don't say you did this wrong. I feel so. It's okay for you to say I was upset, I was angry, I was hurt, but don't say you did this and that's why I'm. Don't blame them. Don't get defensive when people say criticize you because we're all judgmental in some level. We're all critical on some level. You have to accept that, but don't be so defensive when you respond to somebody
Yeah.
when there's a problem. Try to stay more objective.
So then, what's your what do you have to say about the people that say instead of a genuine apology, they say, "Well, I'm sorry you felt this way when I
You
said
feel that
this."
way. I'm
Hmm.
sorry you feel that way.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wait.
yeah,
Chevelle, we
yeah.
went
Touch
through
on
that at
that.
the very, very beginning of our relationship. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
At the very, very beginning, he when we would have a fight, he would say, "I'm sorry you feel that way," and I said to him, this is what I would tell people because this is what I said to him. I would say to him, I love you, but don't tell me that's not an apology. Don't tell me that you're sorry that I feel that way. Tell me you're sorry you did it. You're sorry you said it. You're sorry it happened. But don't tell me that you're sorry that I feel that way.
Hmm.
That's what I have to say about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't ever, and he never did again. He never did again. He got that, but that's really important.
You see that, and he never did it again. That's
Yeah.
key right there. He never did that again.
Yeah,
Some
he
people
changed.
continue
That's
to
right.
do that.
He
Exactly. He changed.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
To
Yes.
you have to admit that sometimes you have to change.
Hmm.
Your behavior is not healthy or good
Hmm.
or
It
right.
could be detrimental to our
Sometimes you are
relationship. Yes.
wrong.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
And you're not saying, and just to clear it up for the people that may not understand, you're not saying get with someone with a thought that, yeah, I can change him, I can change her. You're not saying
No,
that.
no, 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 no,
Mm-hmm.
no. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Chevelle. No, 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 not at all. Absolutely not. No, you're right. You're right to say that. No, I'm not saying that you should get with somebody and then say, well, I don't like this about it, but I can change that, or he can change. No, no. You have to never expect change. What you do is you work together, growing mutually with love, so that you hope you can instill in them to understand your need for that change, and maybe for their betterment, that's why you need that change, and you both need that change. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's the ideal.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna just say it frankly, just like you said. You told him, you said, "Hey, don't say that to me again," and he did not. I'm gonna say it like this: sometimes you have to teach people, and not just in romantic settings or romantic relationships. Sometimes platonic, sometimes
Mhm.
work
Mhm.
relationships. Sometimes you
Sure.
just got to teach people how to
Sure.
talk to you. Okay.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
there's a way to go
Absolutely.
about that. You don't have to be disrespectful. If you felt like they disrespected you,
Right.
you don't have to go down to their level,
Right.
and match their energy, so to
Exactly.
speak. But there, sometimes you
Exactly.
do have to
Yeah.
teach people how to talk to you. And that was a very wonderful example,
Absolutely.
a real
Absolutely.
world example of how we're teaching him how to talk to you when it comes to, apologies
Exactly.
and all of that.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly. And you're right. It happens in business. It happens all over the place. What I like to do with when I go to a store is I like to say, "Oh, you have such a hard job. You must get a lot of complaints. Wow, it must be tough to be a salesperson." So, I try to make a connection with it says in the Torah, in the Bible, you should love your neighbor, love the stranger. I find
Hmm.
it a lot easier, frankly, to love the stranger than I do my neighbors. But anyway, especially because you're supposed to love your you're
Yeah, no,
supposed to
absolutely. No, you're supposed to love everybody, love thy neighbor, love your people.
That's right.
But at the same time, there's a
That's
saying, and we
right.
say sometimes it be your own people. It be the people closest to you, but that's because they're comfortable
Do that.
with you.
Yeah. That's
They've
right.
grown
That's right.
comfortable
That's
with
right.
you. And
That's right.
sometimes
That's
they
right.
because they know you, they're so close to you. They know those buttons that they could push. They know what buttons and what levers to
Uh-huh. That's
pull and
right. That's
push.
right. That's right. But you have to let them know when you pushed a button and you need to step back. Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. I believe friends have said, and groups and acquaintances at our synagogue, and people I know have said, if you don't ask Belle a question if you want an honest answer.
Bill gonna tell her how it is. She
That's
ain't
right.
playing with you. She said, "I am not here to waste your
That's
time sugarcoating." She said, "I'm
that's
gonna give you this straight up."
that's right. You got it.
But that's the thing, though. Like, see, that's oh my goodness, that is your generation. That's my parents' generation. And don't get me wrong, we still got people in my generation and in the younger generation as well. But man, that is
It's a
a
lost art,
dying,
right?
exactly. There you go. I was going to say a dying personality. No, a lost
Uh,
art is the perfect way to put it. Absolutely a lost art.
yeah.
Just tell them straight up. You
Yeah.
don't have to sugarcoat everything. Yes,
Yeah.
again, don't
Yeah.
be rude.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same
No,
time,
yeah,
I mean,
of
if they
course. Of
ask you,
course. Of course.
yeah. But if you ask someone, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Don't
make sure you have an
volunteer
open
that.
mind.
But yes.
Yeah, make sure you have an open mind
Yes.
and that
Yes.
you're, at least almost a little ready to for the answer you get back, because you had the nerve and the guts and
Exactly.
all of that. You had the balls to ask. So I'm gonna give you an answer.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I heard
That's
that.
right.
Oh man, this is wonderful. Well, before we end this lovely episode, is there anything that you wanna leave us with? Is there anything you have to say? Again, the floor is yours, and please take your time. I am not rushing you.
No,
Take your
I
time.
just I think no, no, that's fine. Thank you. I think we've covered a large path. I think we've given a lot of information and wisdom, some of my wisdom that I've acquired over all these years to your listeners, and I'm happy to do that. And I'm happy also to take questions from people on Quora, Quora.com. If you're not familiar with it, it's a question and answer website where there are like half a billion people, and I have over 34 million views, which unfortunately, as you were saying, it's not 34 million people because people look at a lot of my content sometimes, but it's probably a few million people. And so I'm happy to answer. I answer most questions, but I've also got over 100,000 posts and 26,000 answers to
Mm.
questions about love, marriage, relationships, life, and grief, and cats and gardening. So if you'd like to look me up on Quora and ask me a question, I'm more than happy to answer.
I heard that. And forgive me if I didn't do you justice with all of those accomplished feats that you just announced. You know, no. That is nothing shy of amazing. Shoot, that's cities and towns and and small
Yeah,
countries.
it's
Those
a
are
lot. It's a
yeah,
lot.
those are
Yeah, my
numbers
husband
right
kept
there.
saying, yeah, my husband said to me, "When are you going to finish the book? If you're still on Quora, when are you going to finish the book?" So I had to do it.
I heard that. See, look, he motivating you. Oh, and one more thing
Yeah.
I wanted to touch down on. You've already touched it a bit. You said basically that in so many words, you said you are and he is for you. You guys are each other's biggest cheerleaders, biggest fans,
Yes.
and you give him words of encouragement. You give him. Uh, you know
Yes.
those thoughtful words and everything, you know, the lovey-dovey words, just letting them know like, hey, you're amazing, you're everything. And I think that's very important.
Hmm.
And would you say that your partner doesn't you don't they don't would you say they shouldn't always have to work for that? Would you say
No, it
that?
shouldn't
Yeah.
feel like work. It
Mm-hmm.
should never feel like work. It should
Right.
never feel like work. But it is. But it
Right.
should never feel that way. It should. You can teach us. It's a life skill. So you can learn life skills. You can improve your life skills. It's something where, you're walking by somebody, you can brush them on the shoulder. You could you're walking by and you're going to the door and they're sitting at the desk. You can give them a kiss on the top of the head. It's little things that are that aren't forced, that aren't asked for, but just little gestures or just have I told you recently that I love you once in a blue moon? Just
Mm-hmm.
little
Mm-hmm.
things, and
Mm-hmm.
it should never ever feel like work. But if you think of them as your beloved, like I said before early on, if you think of them as your beloved, like it's more than a spouse or a wife or a husband or a boyfriend or certainly a lot more than a significant other, which I think
Right.
is a
Right.
pathetic term. Yeah, uh, partner. Think of them as your beloved. Always think of them as your beloved, especially if you're having a disagreement. Always remember why you fell in love, why you married them. Think about when you're upset. Think about what wonderful things they've done with you and for you, and stop dwelling on the negative. Keep a positive state of mind. It's just so much healthier for you, your health, your relationships health, everybody, the world. It's better for the whole. People should be happier.
Yeah.
And it's got to do with shalom bayit, some of that. Shalom bayit is Hebrew for peace in the house. If you have a good relationship, if you have peace in your house, you take that with you everywhere you go. That means in all your interrelationships, business, visiting stores, everything you do, get your shalom bayit. Find your special person, develop your and nurture your shalom bayit and each other, and be more positive. You'll be happier. The whole world, people around you, you'll make people happier around you.
Mm-hmm.
It would be such a much better place if the only people did that.
Right. And again, just to clarify, I want you to clarify just for the people that may not they might get it on a surface level. So I'm going to say this just to go a little deeper, just so they can fully understand. When she's
Hmm.
saying, just think about the things they've done for you. She's not just talking about the gifts, the physical, as far as like the
Right,
material items. Of course, yes,
right,
he's a provider. That's awesome.
right,
You know, she's a nurturer. Yes,
right,
that is
right.
amazing. But she's talking about things that are deeper than that. They may. Why don't you go ahead and expand on that, please?
What I'm talking about is when just the fact that they smiled at you first thing in the morning when they woke up, or they said, I'm going to go make the coffee," and they came up with a cup of coffee. The
Mm-hmm.
little things that you do for each other, the little words you have for each other, the sharing that you do. Let's talk about. Let's make plans, and they know when you go to the store, think about, or when you go on Amazon, think about if you're buying something for yourself, what little thing could I get for them that they said they wanted. All of the things that encompass making that person the most special person in your life.
Yeah.
All of that. That's the point. That's the point I'm talking about.
See.
It's got nothing to do with the big stuff. It's got to do with the little stuff.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And yes, I 100% agree with that. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, Belle, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you hanging out with us today. Thank you for sharing your story, your perspective, your journey. Thank you for sharing 55 years of wisdom and of being in a marriage. And thank you for giving people something real to actually think about. So
My
again,
pleasure.
again,
It's
yeah,
my duty. It's my tikkun olam. It's my tikkun olam, healing the world. It's my legacy. It's what I want. It's what I why I wrote the book. Why I stopped and did it. I want people to be happier. I want people to know that there is love out there. They're worthy of love, and there's greater happiness out there if you seek it and work at it.
there you go. Straight from the guru herself. well, thank you so much for coming on, Belle. Thank you very much.
And it was lovely speaking with you and being on the your end of the conversation was great too, Chevelle. Thanks.
Oh, well, hey, well, thank you. I still working on my chops, still working on them, but
Yeah. Well, you're a kid. You're a kid. You're only 36.
y'all heard that I'm still young. You know what I'm about? You feel me? All right. All right. Well, yeah, no, and in the future, definitely, you're more than welcome. If you would have us to come back on and everything, you're absolutely more than welcome. Welcome
Thank you.
anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. All
Thank
right,
you.
Belle. Talk to you
Hmm.
later.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye. And that was Belle Gayer, people. Mrs. Belle Gayer of 55 years. So, again, this is Takeover Tuesday, and this is KWEXL Radio, where we excel. Remember, don't just look for love, build something that can survive it. Um, and if you haven't already, you can go to the description and there's an Amazon link where you can find her book. She has a hardcover, soft cover, and she says to look out for the audio book that's coming soon. Again, her name is Belle Gayer, and this is KWEXL Radio, and this has been Takeover Tuesday, and I'm your host with the most from the left coast, Neon Black Chevelle. Thank you for hanging out with us today. And as always, stay sharp, stay safe, and use your common sense. Peace.